Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaylee if you are new here. I like to entertain on this channel, but I also like to have some real raw life mommy moments and heart-to-hearts. And this is a subject that one of you guys actually asked if I would talk about. I posted a picture on Facebook a while ago and I got some really great comments. And I saw this one and it was just like, yeah, that's one of those topics that definitely needs to be talked about because it's not talked about very often. The question is, how do you feel confident while being with the hubby? Struggling a lot with self-consciousness, especially in the bedroom. They may be a little too racy for some, but I'm sure other women struggle too, and most of us are adults here. How do I feel confident enough to leave the lights on? So before I start, I just want to give a little disclaimer here. If you have children with you in the room or you are a child watching this, please turn off the video or please go into another room. Nothing I say in this video is going to be too controversial, really, because I really believe I can talk about this even to people and women who are not married, pretty much anybody who struggles with self-esteem. But I want to be respectful for all of you parents out there, and I don't want to talk about things that you don't want your children to hear from me. I've thought about this subject a lot and I've really been praying over it, and I really just want to tell you guys my honest thoughts. And I want you all to know that I don't have my life together. I struggle with this myself, and this is such an important topic to talk about, especially right after having kids, because I know that feeling of just feeling, frumpy and frazzled and just you don't feel attractive. So I have some tips, but please stay until the end of this video because I just feel like I have a message for all of you women out there, not just the ones of you that are married or have children. My first tip is to stop comparing. Now you may say, well, I don't compare myself to others, but I would say that you are lying because all of us compare ourselves. Sometimes it's just like a quick glance at a woman and we're like, oh, she's beautiful. Sometimes it's literally like just a fixation where we're looking at pictures, we're looking at videos, we are studying a person's every move. We're looking at them and we're wanting what they have, and we are downing ourselves for not having what they have. So there's definitely a difference with comparing. I feel like I've compared myself to other people in a healthy way before, but then also I've compared myself in a very unhealthy way. When we are comparing ourselves in a critical way, where we are saying, I'm not this, I'm not that, I want to be that, I want to be this, we're hurting ourselves, but we're actually also hurting our marriage in the process. Because the way that you feel about your body and about yourself is going to reflect in every part of your life, including your sex life. I remember right after having Eden, when David and I had a moment to ourselves finally, I actually asked him to turn the lights off because that's how insecure I was of my body. And I just vividly remember that because I remember thinking in my head, that's not cool. You shouldn't ask him to turn the lights off. But I was just really struggling with my self-esteem at that point. And he respectfully was like, okay, we'll do that. But I was sick of that moment, and how I just felt like I was not good enough for him to be with, even though I'm his wife and I had his children. So if you're feeling that way, just know it's completely normal. But I hope after watching this video, you guys find different ways to deal with this insecurity and self-consciousness, if that makes sense. So what do you do if you struggle with comparing? Well, you put down this device. It's a cell phone. It's a really nice tool because you can call people on it, you can text people on it, but it's also really bad because there's apps like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and all these really cool apps that are genius inventions. I'm not gonna lie, they're awesome. They also are a trap for comparison in so many ways. How many of you guys have gone on your phone and you're just looking at Instagram profiles and it leads from one thing to another thing to another, and then you're like, whoa, this girl's really pretty, let me check out her profile. And then you see she has this perfect looking family, they all color coordinate, she's got perfect curls in her hair, she's literally taking a selfie on her bed with her kids all around her, but she's sleeping in the picture. You're just oh my gosh, I don't look like that when I sleep. My mouth is hanging open and there's drool coming out. We just get lost in this la la land of comparing ourselves without even realizing that we're doing it. So I take social media breaks sometimes when I get to that point, because for me, comparison, like I said, is so much more than just my life. I'm affecting my kids' lives, I'm affecting my husband's life when I'm sitting here and comparing myself to other women. There's no need for that, ladies. There's no need. You gotta get away from that temptation of comparing ourselves. We have to separate ourselves from these unrealistic expectations of these people that you're seeing in these pictures. And the thing that you don't see is that they have huge issues. They have so many problems. They're struggling in their marriage. They have body confidence issues. They are in an abusive marriage. Like, you have no idea what these women are going through. And so I think like fixating on these pictures and like studying them and like wanting to be like them can be seriously dangerous, because it's not reality and we're in this other world. We all have issues, right? So it's important to take those cell phone breaks when you need them. My second tip is to give yourself credit. You had a child. 9 months of sickness, crying, pain, blood, sweat, tears, the whole 9 yards in 9 months. I get it. But seriously, ladies, I mean, that is like an accomplishment in itself. I feel like I say this a lot. Like, I almost feel like a broken record, because every time I talk about childbirth, I'm like, your body did amazing things. But like, seriously, do you guys realize how amazing your body is for going through that in 9 months time, and then like all of a sudden the baby's out and your body's back to normal? Like, to me, that's just, it blows my mind. We need to remember how incredible we are as women, and we need to encourage our friends and our family with the same. We sacrifice everything those 9 months, and the sacrifice doesn't stop once you give birth. It goes on and on. We're running houses, we're running businesses for a lot of us. We are watching our children, we have marriages, we're trying to keep relationships. It's a lot to handle all at once. And so your body should be like, not even at the center of that worry triangle. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be something that you are constantly thinking about when you have all these other things to worry about. And I'm not saying like, let yourself just go, let yourself just sit on the couch all day long. But I am saying you are already doing a lot, and you are enough the way that you are. You don't need to be adding on to the pressure, especially if it's by society's terms and not your own. So what's something that you can do if you don't see that you are enough? I would encourage you to, right after you're done watching this video, go look up some videos on YouTube on how the science works inside of a mother's body, because we don't see the inside stuff when we're growing babies, we just see the outward stuff. And the inward stuff is crazy amazing. Like, it is so cool how God made, babies to be formed and grow, and it's just incredible. So I would watch videos like that because it just made me realize like how precious and amazing life is, truly. There's no other way to put this. You guys are rock stars. You are. My third tip is to stop the body shaming. You have to stop putting your bodies down. It just has to stop. It's gonna be a long, miserable life if you are gonna constantly put yourself down and look at yourself in the mirror and criticize every single flaw. You are so much more than your body, okay? You are so much more than your body. And maybe society doesn't tell you that. Maybe they tell you that like your body is you, and that's not true. That's just not true, okay? You have brains, you have a head. This whole area is just filled with brains, okay? It controls your thoughts and your emotions and your hobbies and everything, like your core and your being is right here in your head. And then you have your heart that's pumping blood to the rest of your body. Those are like your two main cores. Like, the rest of this, the hips and the boobs and the tummy, like, these are all extra parts of you that do not define you. We as women say all the time, like, you're beautiful the way you are. But how many of us actually believe that ourselves? How many of you can say with confidence that you have never put yourself down? That would be 0 of us. Because we all put ourselves down from time to time. It is human nature, once again, to find things to criticize about ourselves, because we live in an imperfect world that's trained us to think those things. If you're a believer like me, you know that every good and perfect thing comes from God. And as we know, children are one of those things. So how can our bodies, which were the home for these babies that we raised, how could they not be a good and perfect thing? You're perfect. So what do you do if you body shame yourself and that's something that you struggle with? I've said this in a few videos before, but I want to say it again. You need to write down things that you love about yourself and just post them everywhere. This isn't vanity. This is building our confidence and building our self-esteem. What do you love about yourself? What does your husband love about you? What does your mom love about you? What do your friends love about you? Find those qualities about you that make you so unique and so beautiful in your own way, and write those things down. You just have to remind yourself every single day. And if you want to take this a step further, try not talking bad about yourself to yourself in your head. You know how we all do that? Try not doing that for 3 days straight. I remember the first time I practiced this, it was super hard. I don't think I even went 3 days. I probably went like a day, and I was proud of myself. I was like, woohoo, I didn't talk badly about myself. But seriously, it's so hard, like, not to think of ourselves in a critical way for 3 days straight. It's like almost impossible. So try that. When we feed our thoughts with love and positivity, that's what they become. And it almost becomes like second nature. Like every day when you wake up, the way that you've been thinking about yourself every day for the past, days, months, years, whatever, that's who you are, and that's who you think of yourself. And so if every day you're waking up and you're thinking positively about yourself, it's going to eventually form into that habit, and you're going to eventually have confidence, and you're going to eventually love your body. My fourth tip, this is going to be a hard one for a lot of you because it's a hard one for me. Don't give up on your husband just because you are insecure. Now, if you have a man that's suddenly not attracted to you after having a baby, it's going to sting. It'll hurt. But you have to understand that men are going through changes too. Like, I feel like sometimes we forget that the men are going through the changes too. We just think of the women because, we're the ones that are actually physically giving birth. But the men are going through changes too. And a lot of them will keep things inside and not audibly say how they feel. There are a lot of men out there who do struggle with finding their wives attractive or just thinking of their wives differently after giving birth. But that's something that you don't have to give up on your marriage over. The more research I did on this topic, actually I found articles all over the place that talked about this. So if your husband is not attracted to you right now because you just gave birth to a baby, like, you're not alone. Go to counseling together, grow together, and don't give up on the marriage over that. Because he can change, it's not going to be like this forever. And then there's the category of men who find their wives even more irresistible after giving birth than before. But I know there are men in both categories, and neither is the right one. We shouldn't shame men for just feeling the way that they feel. We wouldn't want men to shame us for feeling the way that we feel. For the men that compliment their wives after giving birth and are constantly like, you're hot, you're attractive, don't shut him down. And I struggle with this so much. Like, David will say to me, you are so hot today, or you're so beautiful. And I'll just be like, no, not really. My hair's a mess, or I haven't done my makeup, or that's because I did my makeup. I find ways to kind of take his compliment and just rear it to the ground. And I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes until he tells me, you just totally rejected my compliment, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. I have a really hard time accepting compliments from people, but especially my husband, and I don't know why that is. Something I probably should work out in therapy or something, but I think there are a lot of women that struggle with just believing that our husbands find us attractive. My husband's the most honest man that I know. He will tell me how he feels straight up with no strings attached. And so I know he's not lying about it, I know he's not trying to just make me feel better about myself. He genuinely thinks I'm attractive. But my insecurities get in the way, and I just let them take over sometimes, and I don't accept the compliment. But I think of it this way, if I were to compliment a close friend of mine, or my mom, or somebody that I really care about a lot, and they were to react the way that I do when my husband compliments me, I would feel so stupid or dumb, you know what I mean? Because I just gave my words to somebody and they just rejected it. So what do you do if you're insecure in your marriage? Fake it until you make it. That's my best advice, because I feel like that's how I've gotten to a healthy place of body confidence. And what I mean by this is you just kind of have to go with the flow every day, take it day by day, stop thinking too far ahead of it. I remember I didn't feel attractive, I already told you guys this, after having both kids. I think Jude might have been a little bit harder. After I had Jude, I just didn't feel into myself for a while. And I knew that David wanted to have sexual intimacy with me. Hello, he's my husband, he's a man. That's what he needs and that's what he wants. And don't get me wrong, like I wanted it too, but I was struggling with my insecurity so bad that it was like, it felt weird at first, if that makes sense. It was almost awkward. But I made sure to keep giving him what he needed, even though I felt weird about myself. I think that with time, I just became more confident because I didn't let my thoughts win and I didn't let my insecurities win. I just didn't give them a place to grow and thrive. And let's be honest, ladies, your husbands are not looking at your flaws while you guys are connected, if that makes sense. Like that's the last thing from his mind. He does not care about your stomach, stretch marks, cellulite, your hanging belly. Like he does not give a crap. Like he doesn't. I want you guys to realize that like men don't think like us. They're not wired like us. Don't try to make this out into something that it's not. He wants to show you how much he loves you. Don't take that away from him. Don't shut him down. Don't push him away. For a lot of men, physical touch is everything for them. It's how they feel connected. It's how they feel loved. So don't take that away from them because of how you feel about yourself. You may not be feeling yourself right now, but just fake it until you make it. Does that make sense? To conclude this video, it starts with you. I knew that my insecurities and the way that I felt about myself were me and nobody else. Sure, I've gotten negativity and hateful comments, especially being a YouTuber. Like people will tell you how they feel about the way that you look. I've gotten those things and I get it. You know, people's opinions can really affect you through the years. But when you know who you are and you see that your looks are only a fraction of what makes you you, those negative words become less painful and they don't have authority in your life anymore. It really takes time and it's a process that never ends. I have days where I wake up and I just have no confidence in myself whatsoever, right? But if I like let that win every single day, eventually I will become a person who lacks confidence in myself as a whole. If I'm downing my body every day, eventually it's gonna turn into I'm just downing myself, you know? You're living with yourself for the rest of your life. Like you will always be with yourself. Every time you look in the mirror, guess who's gonna be looking at you? Yourself. So you really got to realize it starts with you and you have to realize like this is something that you're gonna have to exercise. It's something that you're gonna have to practice day in and day out. When I lack confidence in myself, I become a negative person who shuts people out because I feel like I'm not worthy or I feel like I am not enough. And those are all lies from the enemy. God formed you himself. He made you before you even stepped a foot on this earth. He knew your strengths, he knew your insecurities, he created you. And if you guys want scriptures to encourage you or uplift you, I'll put them in the description box below. If nothing else, like if you guys walk away from this video, like she's weird, I don't even know what she's saying, go get those scriptures down below in the description box. Go print those out. Put them on your mirror, put them in your car, put them in your closet, put them in your kitchen, wherever you are the majority of the day. Read those every single day. Make it an effort to read them every day and to focus on those. That's who you are, that's the truth. And that in turn will make you feel differently about yourself with time. Your brain will mend, your brain will change. The way that you think about things changes the more that you think of them positively, right? So it's the same with your body. I want to take this video a step further than I do my other videos. I just feel like I need to do this. I feel like this subject is one of the most important ones that I've ever talked about on this channel. So if you guys are watching this right now, I want you to share. There's gonna be women who are watching this video that feel desperate and alone. Some of you women watching this video have never been told that you're loved, that you're beautiful, that you're important, that you're special. Some of you don't even know that you are worthy of love. And then there's some of you that have been through all of these things, but you've overcome. I just want you guys to share what's honestly on your heart. I know this comment section is gonna feel like a bunch of strangers knowing your business, but I really want this comment section to become a community for all of you. In the past, on my daily vlogs, I've seen my comment section become a community. I've seen people sharing their struggles, and then I've seen people writing prayers or encouraging them. And that's really what I want this comment section on this video to be. Also, I just love getting to know you guys better. I make these videos for you, and every time that I do, I get messages, outpouring of messages and love, and I'm always just so blown away that I have the opportunity to be able to come on here, talk to a camera which reaches thousands of women, and I just have the opportunity to help you guys see how important you really are And that's my goal. So be transparent, be real, be raw. Don't have to hide. You're not alone. You don't need to put on your fake face and pretend that you are okay if you're not. Just let us know down in the comments below. We want to be there for you. We want to pray for you. We want to encourage you and uplift you. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in our next one. Bye.